Well, hello, we're back again, and welcome to part 3 of our series on new home sales. If you've not listened to parts 1 and 2, I think you're going to want to do that. In part 1, we talked about why there are opportunities in new home sales, all kinds of market dynamics, exciting reasons why you should make new home sales a big part of your real estate business. In part 2, we talked about what are the areas of opportunities, all the different things you can do once you have expertise in new homes and awareness of the market. What we'd like to talk about today are what we call belief systems that are holding so many people back from achieving greater success in their real estate career. Now, when I say belief systems, I'm not talking about excuses. We hear it all the time. Somebody say, oh, you got all these excuses. You're not achieving this. You're not doing that. The reality is, we have beliefs that hold us back. These beliefs are typically based on just a lack of awareness or a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding of what's really happening in a certain situation. So what we're going to do today is take a look at some of those belief systems that may be holding you back. We've seen over many years how these beliefs have held back thousands of real estate professionals from moving into new homes and achieving tremendous success by adding those additional opportunities for income.
So many of us, we get in our own way because we just have, this is the way it's going to be, or this is my thought process.
That won't work. I can't do this.
That's what we want to do today. We want to get you to step out of your thought process and look at things a little differently. That's what we always like to do. We like to change it up, right?
Exactly. All right. So, Tree, we're going to go through a number of things here. What do you have for number 1?
So, Dad, number 1, guys, I hear this all the time. I don't want to be tied down and just sit on site for a builder, sit in a model home. Okay, I want to keep doing my resale business.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's thousands of real estate professionals out there who focus on their resale business, but also do a tremendous amount of new homes. In some cases, they'll blend some new homes, a custom builder. Maybe they can market homes that have been produced by a builder. In other cases, we have agents positioning themselves as new home buyer specialists. And of course, that ties in, blends right in with their resale business as well.
It does. And I know a lot of you, when you think of builders, you think about the big box builders.
Right.
They have their own in-house salesperson sitting in the model. So you've gone through the trouble to get your real estate license. Okay, we know some of us don't pass a test, right? But, all right, but you've gone through the trouble of doing that. Trust me. It depends on where you are in your career. Maybe you're the type that says, I want to just chill. I want people to come to me in the model. That's great. But straight up, way more money to be made when you're focusing on, like Dan said, new home buyer representation or aligning yourself with these small builders, the diamonds in the rough that can grow. That's where the money is.
Right. And that said, some good examples. We talked in part 2 about 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And how she landed an 800-unit luxury condominium project. She was happy to sit in the model. And actually, 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 and just an assistant were able to handle a tremendous volume of sales. They were very busy. And so she had a central sales location, and that was fine. Now, what's interesting is 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 says, now that project is done, all I have to do is open up a little sales office, right, nearby that community, and I can resell those over and over again. So moving back into resale, if that makes sense for her. We've had many folks who have landed subdivisions, 200 units, 150 units. Worked in a sales center, maybe selling for various builders, a number of different preferred builders in the community. So these can be excellent opportunities. And keep in mind that many of the buyers of those new homes have existing homes to sell. So that can turn into listings for you or referrals that you can send out. But again, that's only one aspect, one opportunity when we talk about what are the various opportunities in new home sales. So there's land opportunities, there's bringing new developments to life, there's infill, there's all the other things you can do. Joe Velasco, for example, we talked about him. We've got a great interview with Joe as he talks about how he builds his business. And he's done hundreds of millions of dollars in new home sales. But what he says is that those new home sales, the marketing of those homes, listing of those homes, drives so many resale.
150%. Yes. I mean, he is really a rock star.
And it's interesting because so many of the folks we talk to will say, the more new home sales I'm doing, the more new home sales I'm marketing, the more I'm positioning myself as a new home buyer representative, right? Marketing myself as a certified new home specialist, the more resale business comes along with that. So keep that in mind. It's really probably one of the most powerful ways, if not the most powerful way, you can grow your resale business to higher levels.
That brings the fish.
The bait, into the boat. Okay, what do you have next here?
So number 2, I hear this all the time, as you do. There's not much new construction in my area. And funny story, Joe V. When we first met him, he's like, yeah, I'm not really sure. Gino told me I should come and see you guys. There's not much in the way of new homes. I'm like, Joe, give me a second. And I went on my phone and I looked up how many new home permits were issued in his market area in just like the first 6 months of that particular year. I think they were like in excess of 13,000. Are you kidding me? I said, no. And Joe,
where are they?
Where are they? They're not calling you right now. So this is a great opportunity for you.
Yeah. And if you're interested in doing that in your market area, what we encourage you to do, you can go to the census data, or you can go to the National Association of Home Builders, or you could simply just pull up your favorite AI and ask that AI, what are the projections for new home construction in your market area? And I think you'll be surprised when it pulls up permit data. It talks about how many permits have been issued. It'll often talk about single family, multifamily, that sort of thing, to give you some additional data. But because in many areas it's not necessarily massive subdivisions, we often are not aware of the permits that have been pulled that ultimately are going to turn into new homes and present opportunities for us. So there's often more new construction. And then I'd like to add that if there's not much new construction, it's generally an opportunity where there are people who would love to have new homes, even if it's infill, tear down, rebuild.
60% desire it. You can feed that need. You can be that go-to. You can build your business around being that go-to agent for new homes.
Right, and that's where we talk about instead of being a waiter and waiting for someone else to do it, waiting for new inventory, waiting for the market to get better, that's where we teach you how to go out and make it happen. Bring new inventory, bring your own new exclusive listings to life. And again, loads of success stories of folks going out and just doing that. And it's exciting. Exactly. All right, what's
number 3? Oh my gosh, these buyers drive me crazy. They go directly to the builder. Hear it all the time.
And why?
And why is that? Because they're not finding you, because you're not promoting that you specialize in new home sales. And let's say they stumbled upon you somehow and you did get the opportunity. Are you really prepared to really talk with them about the difference between new homes and resale? What to know if you're building from the ground up, from the clearing to the last roof shingle, where you're getting involved with the contracts between builders and buyers, finding the right builder, all of that. Are you really going to be prepared where you are bringing that value to that client? Because if that is a bad builder, you don't want to tell them it's a bad builder, but if you're referring anybody, you should know who you're referring them to, because that's going to come back to you over and over again. So that's one of the things I always say to everybody, you've got to be prepared to demonstrate that value. Hey there, friends. If you want to tap into new home sales, this tool is a game changer.
The free new home market analyzer shows you what's being built, where, and by whom in your market area in seconds.
And no digging through data. Just type in your zip code. It's free to use. Follow the link below to register and get started instantly.
We were up on stage in front of 2,000 people.
That's right.
And we said, if we were coming to your market area, looking for a real estate professional who can help us sort through new home opportunities, shop for new homes, or compare new homes and existing homes.
That's right.
60% of all active shoppers want to do that. 90% of all active shoppers want to work with us as a real estate professional. So when we had this room with thousands of people, we said, if we were coming to your market area and we were looking for a real estate professional to help us shop for new homes, would we find you? And I'll tell you, that room got really quiet.
I think they all got on their phone and they started to, that's why I go, let me search.
And none of them came up in Google or anywhere.
It's a real eye-opener, guys, because we don't think outside the box.
Yeah, and it's just a fundamental. It's a component of marketing. Are you marketing yourself, demonstrating those services? In your communication with your sphere of influence, are you making the point that you're a specialist in this arena? When folks visit your website, your social media marketing, Those are all opportunities for you to position yourself as an expert to help people understand that you really should be the first call. You should be the starting point for their search. And keep in mind, again, when you look at the fact that 60% of all active shoppers want to either shop for just new homes or want to compare new to existing, that's part and parcel. It's a key component of their shopping experience. And as a real estate professional, we should be positioned to help them through that.
100%.
Right?
And guess what? Not all of them are going to buy new, but you've at least had that opportunity. You've now demonstrated. You've built that great loyalty, a great foundation, the trust that you are without a doubt going to help them find the right home that's right for them.
So you built the trust.
And you miss out on that when they go directly to the builder.
Right. And you demonstrated the expertise. And then you also, at the same time, are helping them through a decision-making process they need to go through. And trust me, the process of sales, it's very important to understand that and how to take people through the decision-making process, overcome objections, help them understand urgency factors, and so on. Do you want to grow your business by adding a new homes revenue stream?
I really do, yes. Our free new home market analyzer gives you instant market insight.
Just enter a zip code or a city and get builder activity, permit data, pricing trends, and more.
It's easy, and it is built just for you. Totally free. Follow the link below to register and get started instantly.
So all those things add up to really make a big difference.
Number 4, we hear it a lot. Builders just don't want to work with me. I've approached builders, they don't want to work with me. And then I look at them and I say, well, what are you saying to them? Because let me tell you, they do want to work with us as real estate professionals, because name a builder that's really a great salesperson. I'm not being stereotyping by some of them are, but the majority of them, do they really want to go out and build and sell their own homes? No.
And do all the marketing.
No, they don't want to do the sales and marketing.
And the customer support.
Exactly.
And everything that goes with it.
They want to build.
Yeah, and the truth is, when builders don't want to work with us, that was really true when we started our business, over 30 years ago. Many builders just hadn't had good experiences with real estate professionals, couldn't find real estate professionals that really were qualified to help support the sale. And in many cases, some created more trouble than it was worth. So when we started, realtors didn't like builders either. There was a lot of friction there. But that's changed. And what we find is that the smaller builders are competing with the larger builders, and the larger builders are taking a bigger piece of the pie than ever before in history. And the larger builders have gotten more sophisticated. They're incorporating technology and AI and sophisticated marketing, sophisticated approaches. They're analyzing data to build their marketing programs. It's really gotten to a very high level, and the small builders don't even know where to begin.
And if I want to add one other thing, I've also had a lot of agents say, I don't want to work with a builder because I got burned in the past. And yes, there are some bad builders out there where you didn't get your commission or they took off, the house was halfway done. Those are the bad builders. They're out there, just like there are bad real estate professionals, but they're not all bad, okay? So you need to know what to look for. If you didn't do your homework and you didn't know what to look for, that's why these agents did get burned in the past. So if you had that situation, don't steer away from new homes. There's opportunity out there, but you're going to be far more understanding and prepared to not get burned because you're going to know what to look for.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, total sense, you're absolutely right. And again, a belief system comes from a bad experience. I can't trust builders, whatever it may be. And what I'd like to suggest is, in many cases, maybe the majority of cases, it's not necessarily that a builder is trying to be dishonest or take advantage of us. It's because we didn't set the relationship up properly in the beginning.
It's true.
Do we know the right questions to ask a builder? Do we know how to structure our working relationship? Did we up front identify responsibilities? Who's doing what? How's communication being handled?
The commission up front.
Exactly. In
it's
many
all
cases.
Communication. It really is.
We've talked to agents who have said, well, I just assumed the builder was going to pay me a fair commission. They should know what it is. No, we don't show up with buyers, with prospects, if we have not ironed that stuff out.
That's exactly
So it's all important. How we approach the relationship with the builder in the beginning makes all the difference in the long run.
It does. Definitely does. So the next one, number 5, I'll take new home sales training when I get the builder. I'm going to be blunt. You're not going to get the builder. Okay. Even if you've been in the business a long time, it is a complete different animal.
Right.
And it takes a builder maybe, 3-4 minutes to realize when you truly don't understand new home sales. It's a complete different animal. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. You don't get that second chance to make that first impression. And this could be a builder that's a diamond in the rough. And because you weren't prepared and you really weren't understanding the builder's business, because that's what they want out of respect, you just shot yourself in the foot for what could be an amazing, amazing relationship for many years to come.
Right. And I think statistics show a very small percentage of real estate professionals do have real expertise in new homes. It's estimated to be only about 3 to 5%, which is tremendous news for you.
Yes.
If you've made it through into part 3 of our series here, hopefully you're getting excited about this and you're going to be someone who says, wow, why should I be fighting for a piece of the same pie everyone else in real estate's fighting for when there's these wide open opportunities? But keeping that in mind, it's not a surprise that builders might even naturally assume as a real estate professional that you really don't know what's going on. You don't know how difficult their job is, the challenges, the risks they face, and how to really contribute and help build success in a true partnership relationship that we need to build.
And how many times we always hear, well, I don't really want to wait for my commission, because guess what? You're not going to get that commission until the house is done. Now, some builders, though, will give you 50% up front. But let me ask you this. If you have aligned yourself with a small builder that maybe has 15 home sites, you've got 15 paychecks coming your way. You can't do that in resale. You don't know in resale where your next commission check is coming. So we had a gentleman named David Foote in Ohio, Naperville, in Ohio. We had one of our past graduates, David Foote, in Naperville, Illinois. Years ago, took our training. And when the market, because markets go up, markets goes down, it all goes. When the market really tanked, David really didn't feel it because he had aligned himself with several builders in different price ranges, different types of builders, market areas. But he had all of these home sites and all these homes already under contract. He knew where his next paycheck was coming from. So he said, I don't care that I have to wait.
Right.
I know it's coming. So you think about it from that perspective. Instead of saying, I don't want to wait for my commission, how about at least it's coming? With resale, when's your next one coming? You can't do that.
Yeah, and it's the concept you talk about, building a pipeline.
Yep.
And I remember David telling us the story. The office manager asked him, can you just get up and chat with everybody at the next office meeting because the market's down, everybody's challenged and frustrated, and you're still cooking along. You seem to still be doing well. Maybe you can talk to them a little bit about what you're doing in your business, and we all know that you're doing things in new homes, right? And so David got up and he shared what he was doing. And right away, somebody raised their hand. I can't wait for my commission. I've got bills to pay. Things have been slow. I've got to put food on the table. And it could take 6 or 8 months, depending on the home, to wait for the commission. David said, I totally understand. But keep in mind, if you're in the business for the long term, it takes that first 6 to 8 months from when you start or when you're first getting those listings for that to start turning around. But he said, my heart goes out to any of you who are struggling to get listings, don't have enough business because, you're only as good as your next listing. When's the next one? Where is it coming from? He said, next month, I've got 5 closings. He says, the following month, I've got 7. The month after that, I've got X number.
And security.
Yeah, he went through his pipeline.
That's nice.
And he said, I know what income I'm going to have coming in between now and the end of the year. And I am so thankful, but I can sleep at night because I built that new homes pipeline.
So true. So true. The next one, number 7, I feel uncomfortable talking about new construction. And I know why. I got my license 42 years ago. Not mandatory that you know the parts and pieces of a home. Back then, no HGTV. But today, the majority of our clients are watching HGTV and they know a lot about the product that we all sell.
Products and materials and various construction details.
And it's like a computer salesman. How successful is a computer salesman going to be, or someone selling cars, if they don't even know what anti-lock brakes are? So that's why you don't have the confidence or like to talk about it, because it's not knowing your product. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. And I'll never forget when we had someone going through our course, teaching her how to use a scale ruler and some of the fundamentals of blueprint reading. And at the end of the class, she came up, she gives me a big hug and she says, you have no idea. I've been bluffing it for years with my clients, and it's so uncomfortable. And they see I'm uncomfortable, they get uncomfortable. But the reality is, understanding residential construction, it's not just about new homes. As a real estate professional, it really is surprising that it's not mandatory. Again, as you
Even
indicated,
today.
selling cars or computers or any other kinds of products under the sun, people expect us as a professional to understand our product, to know the details, to help sort them through, to help educate them. And it's really unfortunate that so many agents don't have that expertise. And we hear over and over from the graduates from our residential construction certified course, which teaches you all that stuff. My gosh, I will use this every day in my resale business, let alone new.
And then they always say, I wish I had this when I first got my license. So yeah.
Always wish I had it day one. Wish I had this day one.
New homes are a huge opportunity, but most agents don't know where to start.
That's why we built the New Home Market Analyzer. It gives you a fast, clear look at your local new construction market and helps you uncover new opportunities.
You have to try it today. It's free. Follow the link below to register and get started instantly. Well, in the last item here, number 8, I've been selling real estate for many years. I don't need special training. I could sell anything. So remember earlier I was saying, hey, even if you've been in the business for many years, new homes is a very different animal than resale. So now there's a story that I have to share with you, because this is a really powerful example of what we're talking about. We were at a convention, I'm not sure how many years ago, but an agent that came up saw our certified new home specialist logo at the exhibit booth, and she's like, oh my God, new homes. Me and my team got this great opportunity. This is in Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, 43 condos. And starting at $400,000.
But at the time, was a pretty big price point in that market.
This is all moved down buyers too.
So there's those resale listings, those contingent sale listings are an opportunity there.
Exactly. So I said, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you found us. She says, oh no, I don't need your training. I could probably write the course. I said, oh, okay, here we go. There's always one at every convention that thinks they could write the course. So I said, okay, let me ask you a question. How much money do you think the builder and the developer have invested in this project?
And how much at stake, right?
And how much at stake, that's right. I said, a lot, right? She says, yes. I said, so you don't think that you owe them that respect to make sure you got this and you do this right?
You're doing everything you can.
Everything you can.
To help them sell most successfully and most profitably, right?
Exactly. She said, I've got this. I said, okay, let me ask you another question. What do builders and developers do? They build and develop. So if you screw this up, you're not going to get a second chance. She says, I've got this. I said, okay, well, I wish you all the luck. 6 months later, our assistant forwards a call to my cell. It's this woman. She says, you remember me? I said, yes, I do. She said, I was so cocky, wasn't I? I said, that's not why you're calling. She says, wow. The day the models opened, the builder and developer fired me and my team. I said, oh my gosh, and gave the project to the direct competition. I said, oh my God, did that have to hurt? She says, oh yeah. And she said, you know what I did? I said, what? She said, I went and paid full price for your training. And every hour and every module, she says, I was cringing more and more. And she says, and you know what? By the end of the course, guess what? I would have fired me too. That takes a big person to call up and own it. Like, just
she said, I want you to share this with
story.
Other people.
Exactly.
It was very, very considerate.
Because she'd been in the business 28 years, by the way. 28 years in the business.
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
You know, right?
Exactly.
I
know. But then she says, and your words are ringing in my head. I said, what do you mean? She says, there's more. I said, there's more. She said, yeah, do you know that I have to drive by that project every day to get to my office? And do you know that it's sold out in 1 month? And again, your words in my head, they'll never get a second chance. They're building the same project right around the corner.
Wow.
And she says, and I know I'll never get back in the door. And how unfortunate. Like, where was the downside? Truly.
Right.
Think about it. Where was the downside if she had just taking the time to be prepared. And where's the downside for having that respect for whomever your customer is?
Sure.
If it's a developer, a builder, a seller, a buyer, there's no downside.
Well, can you imagine? You go to a doctor, you assume you can trust a doctor, and they're going to do a certain type of a surgery or procedure. And you find out that the doctor really didn't dig in depth to learn exactly how to do.
That's right.
Equally a problem is things have changed, always advancing. This doctor's been doing the same thing for the last 30 years and has never updated his awareness or her awareness of how to go to the next level. You want to believe they're going to do the very best professional job for you. And I think all of us will agree that's exactly what buyers and sellers and builders and developers, anyone who's a client, they deserve that from you.
It's true.
Agree?
So it's one thing I hear, I want to get the builder. I want to get the builder, which is great. But then you want to keep the builder and you want to make sure that it's going to be a successful relationship because you never know where it's going to take you.
It's actually, a lot of people are surprised. They'll say to us, boy, now I know what to say, what not to say. Now I know the steps in the process of finding good builders and approaching and selling my services. I realize it's an awful lot easier than I ever imagined. Again, another belief system.
Yeah.
The other belief system, as we talked earlier, it's so difficult. Builders don't want to work with us. The truth is they do, but it's how we position it. So hopefully you can look at these and say, what are the belief systems I may be holding that have held me back from really exploring opportunities in new homes and maybe moving forward and enjoying great success? So I hope this has been helpful.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you, visiting some of our other videos. We've got more coming. And don't forget to go ahead and comment below. And don't forget to visit us at sellnewhomes.com. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.